Hey, good evening. And here is another nightly market wrap-up show. Okay, now just going to share my screen quickly and we'll take it from there. So hold on a second. Let's have a look what we have here. Okay, so it's another day and it's another interesting day of the market. It's quite interesting actually because I think for a change, the market gave us another story, and we didn't get an all-time high today. But of course, something gave us an all-time high. So I think we had a slight dip. Of course, the world isn't coming to an end. So it's just a half a percentage dip, and that's it. So I think I have been calling for a while that I think this market is bloated. But we need a form of a pullback for a healthier, and it's actually healthy for a better long-term uptrend. But of course, I think long term the market tends to move up anyway. But I think today it was unexpected. No one is screaming or anything, so batting an eyelid. This is expected, and this is fine. This works. Absolutely. So we had a few things happen today. Boom. Look at gold. I talk about gold every day, and gold crossed $4,000 to an ounce today. Let's just see what this load. Okay, we had a gentle pull back to 3984, but that was an amazing run by gold. I mean, if you look at gold all the while, this has been saying something for a long while. And if anyone has been listening, oh, I love the background as well. It's cold. If anyone's been paying attention, we had this huge runaway, and we hit 4,000 today at some point today. And so whoever's investing, well done with gold. Likewise, I haven't been talking about silver for a while now. Actually, I think for about a week or so. How did silver perform? And if you look at silver, I know silver hasn't been lagging. It's been lagging behind gold, but look at that. I was looking at 50, but it got to 48.76, and that's a gentle pullback from silver. Also on the soft commodities side, look at cocoa. Cocoa's actually been, I mean, I've been saying this is literally my bread and butter, and it's just been consolidating right there, holding this hard support. And I believe at some point this thing wants to pull, well, it wants to collapse back down. But this is really holding. I believe some people are they're making a gentle buy, and it might stay here for a long while. That's cocoa. Elephants in the room, elephants in the room, elephants in the room. The dollar. I think this made he been given a bit of a warning, and we can see the dollar has been gradually creeping up for a while now. So I expect the run we've been having in the market to cool somewhat. Yes, October, people expect a magnificent run in October. It's one of the best months in the year, the trading of the trading year. But we had a great September, but I think October might be just a cooling one. Quantum, what quantum? Let's look at some of them. Quantum, we said they're gonna catch a breath. Okay, QUBT, it caught a breath yesterday, slowed down a little bit again today, calmed down. QBTS, look, nobody cares that the head office looks like a garage. This just keeps running away. QBTS is amazing. I keep saying this one here, the more it runs, the more it gives me time, and I will get time to be able to, you know, slow it down at some point anyway for a short. RGTI as well. We know the earnings are nothing to write home about, but look, nobody cares. The best trade that's been working so far is by the dip, by the dip, by the dip. IONQ. Likewise, what's the play on this one here? IONQ. Another one. Look at that. Now 79. Amazing. There is a big uh, expectation on this one to go to 100 by Friday. We shall see if it's going to happen. There's a huge bet that's been going on with IONQ. If it's going to happen by Friday, we shall see. So, also, I want to talk about crude oil. I love, love, love trading crude oil. Look, the market is something I'm going to say in a while. The market is just something away from here. Um, Bearish crude oil, but I've got a slight position here. Haven't taken the loss or anything. I think I have a good 60 average. Look, we're not far away from any macro or political instability, and off we go. Okay, so. Speaking of buying the dip, which has been working, actually, before I get to that point, Tesla released, they were meant to release a news about the, should I say, the cheaper version. I think there's a delay. Look, I'm used to Tesla delaying. Uh, that happened, and that just produced the dip that we had today. So that was, or that's the news for today, really. So these, I think. Also in 2025, Tesla sold about 1.22 million cars, which is a 6% drop from last year. September sales in Germany fell 9.4%, leading to a 50% decline for the year. That is a lot. But look, we know Tesla has actually been rebranding as an AI company, robotic, everything else but cars. But unfortunately, car still produces, the car pays the bills. They don't do well. They don't sell cars. There's a reflection, there's a bad reflection on the stock market or stock price, and that's what's been happening so far. So good. That's that one with Tesla. Also, now speaking of buying the deep, look at this yesterday. This happened yesterday. AppLovin. They this is actually interesting. I think I made a few notes here about AppLovin, which is, I believe they have a pending SEC investigation. So when the SEC comes out to hunt for your companies, you've got to be careful, and that's what is it is with AppLovin. They have a pending SEC case or case with the SEC, but look, it went down heavily yesterday to or 14%, I believe. Even pre-market was down a bit today, but look at the ramp from the lows of 520 or 544, and almost $100 or 100 points move up today. Again, speaking of buying the deep, AEHR, this is one on our stable. I actually gave a cautionary note on this one here, but I will be honest, the 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 earnings, I don't think it was really as bad actually. Look, it was a double beat. Yeah, not great, but it was a double beat. And I saw the details which I posted in the group. I think this wasn't too bad at all. So we had it went all the way down 25%. And speaking of again buying the dip, this had a good crawl back, and buy the dip has worked. Look, this market is always what? Buy the dip until it can't anymore. And AMD, from the open AI, that's still going. Look at the candles, huge size. And finally, Circle, 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 Circle Internet Circle Internet from, I think there was a, sorry, not Circle, Oracle, similar tickers in the, and they, okay. Some people called it a FUD, but yeah, there was a release made today, which I think was that the premium they're making, or the profit on they're making with Nvidia, is not as well. It's quite thin, razor thin margin, which is it. So I believe traders and investors, they thought, you know what, this is not good enough, and they had to do a trimmer. They trimmed some of it. Yeah, I know it's wild right now. SPY, if you look at the SPY, it just keeps going as if it's got wings underneath. There are no real dips, that stick, just that steady melt up. Nobody believes until it's steady or it's already happened. Oil is a wild card, though. I keep talking about that. You can feel it rumbling under the surface, waiting for the next headline or geopolitical flicker to light it up again. The whole thing feels like a balancing act between confidence and chaos, but there's a rhythm in it too. If you listen close, keep your eyes open, stay patient. The crowd gets loud when they're scared or greedy, and both can blind you. We move quiet, we watch the flow, and we don't flinch when they try to shake the tree. That's my message for tonight. And final thing, before I wrap this up, is to say that look, the government shutdown seems to be great for the market, and That's the night wrap up. I think I've got a few pointers also. We've got a blow off top right here. I was listening to it was a poll to the Jones. He said, the wife says that's not a pig, that's a duck. So in the CNBC interview, I think he said that it's beginning to feel like a 99, but not a fun living the vida loca kind of a way market. My guess is that I think all the ingredients are in place for some kind of a blow off top, which is what PDT, Paul Tudor Jones, or PTD, said, noting that investors should be quick if they want to capture remaining upside. History rhymes a lot. I would think some version of the dot-com bubble is going to happen again. Remember, the Nasdaq doubled between October 99 and March 2000, according to Jones. So if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably not a chicken. So Jones did say quite a lot of things, that gold, crypto, and the Nasdaq, they are best way to trade the bull market's last legs. But in today's trading, December gold is up 1.8% and earlier peaked at new highs of about 3994.5. I think it's about, I think that's if you look at December gold contracts, I think that's about 4,000 really on the normal cash gold charts. So stock indices are mostly higher, though they trailed off a little bit today, but again, it's constant all-time high. AMD still holding the legs. OpenAI, they keep adding more fuel to the frenzy. But you got to pay attention to the bond yields, they limit the gains. Verizon Communication, it's one of those big guys. I think they're pushing all-time high, but they're slightly down as well. And the US shutdown is entered into the second week now again, and it could delay some key inflation data. One thing I've been having on the back of my mind is that, look, this key inflation data, if it gets released at the end of the shutdown, that might just be the huge collapse that people are expecting, or maybe should I call it a correction. So until it stays, stay safe. And if it's still working, well done. Keep pushing your luck, but do not gamble. Know when to take the profit. One thing I learned from the market wizard is that let the keep the losses short, but let the winners run.